We both know why you clicked on this, so I'll get right to the point. As of now, I'm in the middle of getting my physics major, and as you can clearly see, I'm extremely knowledgeable in my field. So I wanted to tackle one of the greatest mysteries of mankind, alongside questions like where do we come from? Are we alone in the universe? This is something that has plagued me for a long time. Does come, boil, or freeze in space? My name is Ben today, and I took it upon myself to research this and try to see if I could get a good guess of what would happen. So let's start with the basics. Composition. The volume of semen is around 90% seminal fluids and 10% spermatozoids, if not less depending on the source. So when you get to the properties of it, we can ignore the spermatozoids and focus on the seminal fluids. Now, what are seminal fluids made of? Well, there's not much to it, it's mostly water, plasma, and mucus, which gives it the texture we all know and love. And also there are a bunch of nutrients, metals and stuff like calcium, fructose, glucose, potassium, zinc and protein, to name a few, and this is what gives semen its signature taste, which is a mix of sweet, salty and metallic, as any JoJo's fan will tell you. Although it does vary with your diet. It's weird to think about, but some people just have better tasting cum. Like if all you do is drink Monster, eat Takis and smoke, your semen will probably taste like if my grandpa's slipper was submerged in a tub of sulfuric acid. Anyways, these nutrients are in very low concentration, it is still mostly water. I'm assuming that since most of it is water, for the sake of simplicity, it will have similar chemical properties to water. Then the answer should be simple. Water plus cold is ice, space is cold, so water in space is ice, right? And we said that water and semen are alike, so there it is, video over. Except it isn't as simple as that. Depending on how much you know about chemistry, you may or may not see where this is going. This is a phase diagram. The phase diagram of water, to be exact. If it looks like an absolute clusterfuck of an image, do not worry, it will make sense in about a minute or so. We don't really need to work with the complicated version of the image, so let's work with something easier. Here. Now, what exactly is a phase diagram? Well, in high school they usually teach you about boiling and freezing points, but they never talk about pressure. To say an example, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit, but that is assuming that we have 1 atmosphere of pressure exactly. You see, pressure works as a force, or a mantle that compresses particles. If there is a shitload of pressure, and that mantle of particles is very heavy, the water molecules will get compressed to the point where they reach the structure of ice, so they're forced to freeze. On the other hand, particles tend to try to take up as much space as possible, so when there is little to no pressure, molecules will separate and therefore become a gas. I know you probably didn't expect a full fucking science class, but I swear it really helps to understand what's going on. Now that we define the substance and the nature of it related to temperature and pressure, we just have to apply this knowledge in the context of space. So space is as cold as my nipples during winter or my ex-girlfriend's heart, but also there is no pressure in the vacuum of space, because there are not enough particles to accept the type of pressure we see on Earth. So what is going to happen? And the answer is pretty interesting actually. Imagine, you're doing your thing, I don't want to get in trouble. Practicing self-abuse? What the fuck is onanism? Anyways, you're floating in the vacuum of space jerking the goose. The moment it comes out of your body, what happens to water-like substances in space is that they boil instantaneously. But then, since it is also extremely cold, after the substance boils, it will freeze. One example is that if you live in a cold enough country, you can heat water in a pot, and as soon as it's boiling, just throw it in the air. Similar to what will happen in space, you will see a quick change in pressure resulting in a bunch of water vapor. But after the change in temperature, that vapor will freeze, becoming basically snow. I mentioned that the phase diagram will come in handy and I'll use it now. What is happening is you're here, right? Approximately. In the zone where water is in liquid form. You first get a sudden decrease in pressure, which sends the point right to the bottom. And guess which state is there? The gaseous one. But then temperature also decreases, sending the point to the left, which is the solid state. Yeah, this is more of a simultaneous process, but for the sake of illustration and understanding what is happening, just imagine it as one happening before the other. That means that if you were to come in space, you will get a freezing cold cum mist that will very quickly turn into cum snow, which is pretty weird, but also a piece of knowledge that opens a world of opportunities in hentai. So that's it. The answer to the question, does cum boil or freeze in space, is that it does both. Technically, you could try to prove this empirically by doing the boiling pot experiment with your cum and seeing if it does become snow. I'm personally not that dedicated to science as to try that and submit my nostrils to the stench of boiling hot semen, but hey, if any of you try it, don't send me the video. I will just appreciate if you told me what happened. I'm Ben today, and thank you for coming. Yes, I did fit one last bad cum joke, I had to. And hey, this is kind of like an epilogue, an outro, so if you enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I don't know why every YouTuber says those 3 words in the exact same order, but they do it, so I'ma do it too. I am trying to upload more often, just whatever seems interesting at the moment, but generally I do a mix of gaming content, goofy content, and video essays, but I'm willing to try anything, so if you wanna see me covering something, just tell me in the comments and I'll most likely do it. I hope you have a good day. Most YouTubers have like a catchphrase at the end, but I neither have the charisma nor the imagination to come up with one, so I'ma end this video by saying catchphrase.